Welcome to the practical part of your implant development. Today I will guide you through the process of how to successfully braid an implant. The goal is to fabricate an implant like this one. You can easily recognize the superelastic properties of the nitinol. I organize the process into 4 steps. First, you need to select the right material for your implant. Then, you have to prepare the mandrel and the braiding device before the actual braiding begins. Finally, the finished braided implant is heat treated in an oven. Let's begin with the selection of the material. In the design report you investigated the influence of different parameters on the implant. Now you can choose between 4 different mandrels varying in the braiding angle and the number of pins or springs. Afterwards, you have to choose between the 3 available sizes of the wire. Make sure they fit to your selected mandrel. And that's it for the selection of the material. Next, we're going to prepare the mandrel and the braiding device. Take your mandrel and clamp it into the axle. Make sure that the holes are in alignment. Then, take the M-tube nuts and bolts out of the box and attach them to the braiding device accordingly. You can turn the device around and use a hex key to lock the length in place. Then use a screwdriver to tighten the screws. Perfect! Now we need some spring steel or nitinol wire for the guiding pins. Using a pair of pliers makes it easier to insert the guiding pins into the mandrel. You can either cut new pins or use existing ones. Just insert the pins one by one until they are all firmly in place. Be careful, some mandrels have several holes, but only one row of holes is the right one. But don't worry, it is indicated on the box which holes you need to use. The next step is to cut your selected wire into the right length. The table shows how much wire is required for the different variants of the implants. Add some extra length to have enough wire for the attachment and easy braiding. Take the wire and wrap it around the screw a few times before you tighten it with a screwdriver. Alright, now we can start with the braiding. Take the wire and run it past the guiding pin along the pattern. When you reach the next guiding pin, loop the wire around it and continue following the pattern. Every time there is a notch, the wires cross. The wire is passed along the notch underneath the other wire. Continue like this for the whole pattern of the implant. You can either guide the wire by hand, but sometimes it is easier to use forceps. Especially during the first crossings, the wire is not yet securely fixed in position. Therefore, make sure that you always keep the wire tight. 2 more tips. Firstly, when crossing a wire, it often happens that you will form a loop. Don't just keep pulling, because it might break the wire. Instead, use a pair of forceps to unloop the wire. And secondly, it is really worth to braid as exactly as possible. Try to correct minor mistakes with your forceps. Thus, you get a more regular shape and more homogeneous cell sizes. When the implant is finished braiding, the 2 ends of the wire must be connected. To do this, detach the wire from the screw. Then, braid the wire back 1 crossing. This fixes the marker band better in the implant. The marker bands are very tiny platinum sleeves. Take them out of the box very carefully and make sure to choose the right size for your wire. Start with taking one end of the wire and push it through the sleeve. This works best if you place the sleeve on your fingertip. Push the marker band further up to the braid. Now take the other wire and thread it through the marker band from the opposite side and tighten the wires. Then squeeze the marker band with a blunt object. You can use a hex key for this, for example. Check that the marker band is tight. Then cut the wire ends with side cutters as close to the marker band as possible. Excellent! Your implant is almost finished. We have now reached the last step, the heat treatment in the oven. After switching on the oven, you will see the program manager. Select the program number 1. Now place the mandrel with the implant on the white platform. Then you can start the program by clicking on the green button. The preheating starts. When the temperature of 450 degrees Celsius is reached, the lifting platform automatically moves up into the oven. The temperature rises to 550 degrees Celsius and the implant is treated for 10 minutes. The entire process takes approximately 10 to 14 minutes. When the program is finished, the platform automatically moves down. Watch out, the mandrel is very hot. Only use the long tweezers to remove it and let the mandrel cool down for about 15 minutes before touching it. Awesome! The implant is now finished and only needs to be removed from the mandrel and the guiding pins. You can use a side cutter for this. Carefully push the implant off the mandrel. And here it is! The heat treatment released the internal tension in the nitinol, so that it always bounces back to its new shape. Alright, that was a lot of work, but you did it. In the next step, you will measure your implant under the microscope. See you!